G'day everyone. Good morning here in Australia. What is it? Very, very, very late at night or after midnight in Britain and Europe. Can't help that, sorry, but it's a good time for me to. I just stopped this year as always. Good time in America. What is it? Probably sometime late afternoon, evening.
7 p.m.
7 p.m. Oh, wow. Who was that? Yes, my good buddy, Terrible Tim. Everyone's favourite. A lot of requests to have Tim back on. I've got a lot of people popping up, which is great. We don't normally do a show this time of morning for me. It's usually later on at night where I can relax. I've just had my cup of coffee. Tim, it's been a month since I spoke to you. Nothing really has happened around the world. It's pretty quiet. No shootings or ISIS attacks to talk about. I just thought I'd bring you on, just have a chat. Maybe we could talk about, I don't know, is there anything that's happening that I don't know about?
Well, they mellowed out on the ISIS and the mass shootings quite a while ago. There's a little resurgence here or there, but the body count is too low to really gain national attention. And I made up a rudimentary list of things that I could add to our story. Tom Hanks with his mask shaming. It's mandatory now in California and New Jersey, and I think Colorado. They want you to wear the mask outdoors too.
Sorry, I just pulled you up there. Mask for what? What's going on? Have I missed something?
They want everybody prepped and ready to do surgery on each other.
Hang on, fill me in. It's pretty quiet here. I don't read the papers or watch the news. I know is like the footy's back, and that's. Fill me in. What's going on? Is there a problem going around?
Well, there's some interesting problems in your community. Just 22 kilometers from where you live, they locked down a tower complex, 3,000 people because of the claim of a fake bug. So by divine decree, they shut down that part of town. And all those people are dependent upon the government to give them food. They won't let them go anywhere. They got cops outside those towers to prevent people from coming and going.
I know what you're getting at. It's that virus.
Yeah, the big bug, I like to call it.
The HM virus, is that it?
The COVID-19 corona. But again, I like to call it the fake bug. It's a fake bug.
No, I don't know about that one, but I've heard of the HM one. And I'm being serious here. It's real, and I'm too scared to go out because of this HM virus. Have you heard of the HM virus?
That's a new one. What does that stand for?
Humanist mentalist. Humanist mentalist. I mean, I'm too scared to go out because of the spread of this virus. Like everyone's fucking mental, and I don't want to catch it. We're wearing these masks. I mean, fucking humanist mentalists. It's pretty deadly, apparently. It spreads like wildfire. You haven't heard of that one?
Well, what we got to do, Peekay, is everybody has to stay in the house until people don't die anymore. Sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, well, I thought people were wearing these masks because of the humanist mentalists and the idiocy that's spreading amongst people. So it's a virus, you're telling me? What was that virus you said it was?
Corona, COVID-19.
Oh, okay. Well, never heard of that one, but anyway, I better check that one out. So, honestly, Tim, I know we can, make a joke about this, but
yeah,
in all seriousness, it is a fucking joke. I don't know if you want me to, talk a few things about what's going on here.
Oh yeah, I absolutely want to hear your thing going on there, Peekay.
All right, and just before that, A lot of good to see you, Pyman, Mark and Melbourne, Gary Knight. Yeah, I gave you a bad dose of my coffee there, mate. You know, I keep the good stuff to myself. That's a friend of mine, Gary, who came around, did a talk. He works in the hospital. Michael Jackson, is that that's not the original Michael Jackson, is it? The one that's now St. George. But anyway, you don't know people around the world. I live in Melbourne, Victoria. Used to be the most livable city in the world. Now it's the most unlivable because of the people who control it. It's the guinea pig. It's the guinea pig state of the world. Fully behind this COVID fucking bullshit. It's amazing how, you know, they were telling us for over a month or whatever, we're going to get this second wave. How do they know that? Of course they knew that, because it's part of the script. So they just fudge the figures. They get its peak, it comes down, get everyone sort of a little bit excited. You know, things are going to go back to normal.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, from nowhere here in the guinea pig city, Melbourne, guinea pig state, Victoria, we get all these cases, fucking cases, but no one's dying. But we get these cases, and it just goes up and up and up and up, and everyone panics and blah, 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 cut it short. Our great dictator, Dan, who obviously, you know, is just going by the script, he decides to lock down 9 towers. And just on those towers, they say there's 3,000 people in there, you know, huge majority are from African countries, you know. Most of the ladies are wearing the burqas and covering their faces anyway, so it's surprising how any virus is going to spread there if they're following that policy. But most of these people are locked themselves inside anyway. I don't want to sound like, you know, I'm saying it's all bullshit, but it was an overreaction how they were suffering, and they were, you know, like in a prison. Like I said, most of these people don't go out anyway. And to say that they ran out of food and all that's a lot of bullshit. And most of them fast anyway. It's not like a few days of not eating, they're going to, you know, die. But anyway, I don't want to, like I say, go against it. But anyway, that stopped after 4 or 5 days. And because what it was all about is because before that, where they locked, well, they call these things clusters. There was clusters, 10 suburbs, which turned out to be 36 suburbs, which they closed down. And a lot of people weren't getting the tests done. Smart people. Apparently, I don't know, some figure was like 100,000 in these suburbs never got tested. And so they said, oh, fuck that, because there's this big thing that they want to test you. And there's more to the testing that we know of. I don't know, we're shoving that thing down your nostril is going to, you know, whatever, put something in there or get your DNA. I don't know, but it's more to it than just a simple test. But what they figured, I will get these 3,000 people in the buildings, 9 buildings, which, you know, not some are next door to each other, some are kilometres away, but they had to close all 9. And it's amazing how all of a sudden all of them supposedly got this bug. In Hong Kong, like every you know, every building there is a high rise, and only 7 people have died in Hong Kong compared to us, but you know, it's another story. So, yeah, that was the way. Get 500 cops there. Why you need cops is beyond me. Then that was a way of getting all these bullshit tests. Not that they need to test anyone. They just make up the figures anyway. And I'm going to read something out. I'll do it now. Why not? I made a video of this yesterday, and it's very, very important that I read this out. If you haven't seen this, let me work this shit out. Say a few words, Tim, while I actually try to work this out. Tim, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Tell us what's going on in New York, wherever you are, while I figure this bullshit out. Hang on.
Okay, well, And then I just wanted to add, when I was talking about the mask before, the cherry on top, because we know Trump is not doing the right thing. He signed off on the fake bug. But the cherry on top is now he's wearing the fucking mask. Just like everybody else, he's wearing the mask.
You're kidding. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, and it's a black mask too. So maybe he's into S&M and bondage. I don't know.
Wow.
Or maybe it shows his allegiance to Satan. Why is he wearing a black mask?
Wow. All right, mate. Look, I've got this. I'm just going to read this out.
Yeah.
Where are we? Oh, jeez, I hate this.
Well, let me just say something while you're getting organized there, PK.
Keep going.
I mean, it's a really a work of art, a work of beauty. That last video that you made with all the 33s in it. Now, I've been dabbling in public access TV and editing for over 20 years, and I know the painstaking work that went into it. You had to put hours and hours and hours into that fucking thing. And I've seen the 33 videos done before by other people, but nothing like that. Almost a half an hour. And it's just bang, 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 bang. All those 33 fake news stories. Good work, my brother.
Oh, thanks, mate. Yeah, it was painstaking, to be honest.
Yeah.
The worst part about it was so many. I could have found more, but I didn't want to get too many multiples. And I found, when I was doing it, I was getting so many multiples, But anyway, I think I fixed it up all right. But anyway, I don't know this bloody shit. All right, I'm going to read this.
Yeah.
Freaking hell, what am I doing there? Sorry. Fucking hell. Sorry, guys.
Was that a love letter from YouTube there you got?
Here we go. Here we go. Look, I'm going to read this out. This is a comment person made, Brizzy Fritz. Hey, PK. I don't know whether this is of interest, but it sure was interest. But it is about our so-called worst day in Victoria yesterday with 288 new cases. Someone did some math proving how they used an increased number of tests to wipe up fear. It is not Victoria's worst day. Today we had 281 cases. 7 were reclassified largely due to duplication, but 37,558 people were tested. And just on that, God knows where they are getting all these tests. Why people are getting tested is beyond me. So that's a lot of people being tested in one day. I don't know how pathologists are, having time to do, get the results for these in their labs. Because, I keep saying it's all bullshit. They're not testing these in labs. They just throw them in the bin and just make up the numbers. But anyway, it says the highest number since testing began. This means a positive test rate of 0.75%. You got that? 0.75% of positive tests. Then he goes, we had multiple days where the positive test rate was much higher. The testing started 17th of March. That day, even on that day, there was 0.92%. So, all right, keep remembering this 0.75. That was 23 cases out of 2,500 tests. Then it goes through each day. We start here, 18th of March, 2.7, 1.46, 1.30, 4.39, 2.79. Sorry, I've got to scroll down here somehow. I'm just going through the video. I haven't actually got the live comment here. I should have found that. Yeah, anyway, yeah, 7.38, 4.3, 11. All above yesterday's figure. Even here, 0.8, there's an 0.8, these are the two lowest. It's a joke. And it stops there. So what he's saying, yesterday, the 288, was it? It's all over the news. I mean, when I say all over the news, every time you turn the radio on, I'll talk about it in a second. It's all about these new cases, the big number, 288. But in fact, as a percentage of the people tested, it's the lowest. It's never been lower. But yet, because of this, we've got to be put in a lockdown for 6 weeks. Where do they get this 6 weeks bullshit from? Oh, because they want to bring it right to like a week before September. And as you know, September is the big month. It's when the shit's going to hit the fan. I don't know, but I actually saw a video today saying the vaccine won't be ready for 2 years. So I don't know how they're going to bring forward that 2 years bullshit. But anyway, that's what I saw today. But so there it is. The figures tell you it's the lowest percentage since testing started. But the people, the humanists, mentalists, idiots out there, are all believing this fear factor. And by God, like I said, I'm too scared to go out to catch this virus, the HN. But I haven't been out for 3 days, but I can imagine how many people are wearing the mask now. It is staggering. So that's one thing I want to show you. So, Tim, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, my thoughts are many other cases, but few are the caskets.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And just as you say, I don't give a fuck about cases. What do cases mean? Cases mean somebody got sick and they're probably going to get better, because over where you're at, it's a common cold and flu season because it's the winter time. Where I'm at, there's no excuse to be afraid of catching a cold. It's the middle of summer. It's 90 degrees outside. So at least they have something to hide behind where you live, because it's winter, right?
That's right. And I made a video a couple of days ago. 900 plus people died from the seasonal flu last year. 900 plus. And I didn't even notice this. You know, but going through all these videos, the hype about how it's the worst seasonal flu ever, and it was pushing the flu vaccine, the flu vaccine. You know, like I said, I didn't even realize that. I don't watch TV much, but I had no idea about that till I, saw it, a few days ago. So we're talking 900 plus as compared to 107 in 6 months with this pandemic. You cannot compare the two. And they've even stated that the seasonal flu cases this year dropped from 17,000 in March to like 200 and something in April. Yeah. I mean, what's going on here?
They did a little borrowing from the numbers there, Peekay.
A little bit of borrowing, I'd say. But
and I saw your video detailing what happened in previous years. It's way less than what's happening now. I mean, way more than what's happening now.
It is. You cannot tell people. And all it is, it's just a seasonal flu. And I'll point out a few other things. 440 people die a day in Australia. You hear me? 440 people die a day. And on average, this fucking bullshit BS-19 is one a day. One a day, and you got 440 people dying from other diseases and what have you. It's a joke. And I just made a video last night. Oh, God rest his soul. The 107th person died, and of course it's in Victoria. He was a young 90-year-old. A young 90-year-old in his prime of life. Can you believe it?
Years ahead of him.
And of course it was on the Daily Mail, Mail Online, whatever you want to call it, all about this guy. As usual, he was a wonderful guy. He was a Collingwood supporter, the team I follow. Photos with his grandchildren, and his grandchild, the daughter, grandchild, the statement said, oh, it was shocking how he died isolated on his own and we weren't able to be there. Oh, amazing that. Amazing how these people die when you're not allowed to visit them, and they can pump morphine into them and then say, they died from COVID-19. Bullshit.
And Peekay, you always notice too that when somebody dies in any given phony fake show, be it the fake bug, the Boston hoaxathon, or shitty hoax, Sandy hoax, no one ever dies when the people say, yeah, this guy was a piece of shit. Goodbye and good riddance to this motherfucker.
I said that in the video, and I say it a few times exactly. You read through all the bullshit, you've got to see it. It's just everything is just how wonderful he was. Of course, he was a nice man, But you said never this. Oh fucking! Thank God this pain in the ass died. We couldn't handle his fucking whinging or something. No, it's nothing like that. But you know, obviously the guy died, but 90 years old. Come on, what? He just ran a marathon and he's ready to carry the flag at the 2021 Olympics. Was he? Give me a fucking break. You know. But of course, they're desperate. They're going to get any numbers they can for deaths.
Sure.
Because it's deaths that count. Like you said, cases mean fucking nothing. Cases there just to pump out these huge numbers on the news. You know, Andrews gets up in press conference. First thing they read out is the number of cases, the number of cases, the number of cases. And people don't even realise, you know, even my brother, I mentioned this about a month ago, he came around and I said it's all bullshit. He said, oh, what about the millions of people dying? No. Couple of million of cases. Millions aren't dying, but people don't look at it like that. They hear the word millions, but they substitute cases for deaths. Cases, like, you know, 99.5% of cases are mild. It's even less than the seasonal flu. It's a runny fucking nose. And as you know, the cases are just, you can ring up on the phone and say, oh, look, doctor, I feel I've got a runny nose. Yep, you're a case. Just have a rest for 14 days. No worries. Goodbye. And there's bullshit. If you come into contact with someone, then all of a sudden 15 people that were in contact with this person, they are listed as cases as well, as probable. But no, it doesn't matter if you're a probable or a possible, whatever. We just put those numbers up there. It's all a numbers game. That's what they play. And the other figure is 60 million people die every year around the world. For God's sake, 60 million. And all we've got here is 500,000. And the Spanish flu in 1918, what was the figure there? 50 million people died. I mean, that was a horrendous pandemic. And when you work out the population of the world, I should check it out. I meant to do it. Has to be at least, you know, half the population that is now 3-something billion. 50 million people died for whatever reason. And that wasn't fake. And the other thing is, we went through that swine flu 10 years ago. There was a lot of hysteria about that. Nothing like this hysteria. There were more cases and more deaths, but that came and went. We didn't destroy all economies and people's lives because of the swine flu, even though that was all bullshit, just like the figures are with the seasonal flu figures that I mentioned. It's all about getting the vaccine. So anyway, I've gone on a bit, Tim. I'll have a rest. So what's going on there apart from Donald Trump wearing a black... I mean, honestly, I got to see that. Is he actually wearing the mask as he comes out on his press conference?
Yeah, he was wearing it when he was visiting some kind of military ceremony or something like that.
So he's going to save the world, apparently, cleaning up the deep state. When's that going to happen, mate? Honestly.
Oh, any day now.
Oh.
I haven't been hearing that bullshit story lately that Trump locked down the country so that they could round up the pedophiles, which makes no sense because you don't have to shut down the world to round up a bunch of pedophiles.
They're telling us that these people are dying, that Bill Gates is dead, and the palace in England is empty, that they're using body doubles for Prince Charles and the Queen, and the best one that's going on, it's spread to Melbourne, this fucking Q-tard bullshit. They're saying, because I'm checking up more on Facebook channels now, and there are people that are saying that at night they're uncovering these underground tunnels and pulling out children.
Oh, yeah.
At night, but no one's seeing this, but they're pulling out children, saving children from the pedophiles. I mean, what? I mean,
just do it. Just do it if you're going to do it.
And everyone's hoping this is real, but come on, bring it on. Bring it on. Don't hold back. We're getting to a point where it's going to be too late. if Donald Trump's going to be the savior and Q-tards and all this shit, bring it on now.
At PK, another fake story is that they're doing all of this to stop Trump from being elected. But I'm sorry, if they wanted to stop Trump, they would do him like they did Kennedy. No need to go through all of this absurd nonsense.
Yeah.
And PK, what you mentioned too, when you mentioned Prince Charles and all of those idiots, you reminded me of this video that I sent you, and then you mirrored it up there, where this guy was pretending he's like back and forth, and he falls back on his arms, like our other friend up there in Buffalo, New York.
No, don't bring that Buffalo man up. There's too much shit went on with that, and I've upset too many people, and I've lost friends over it, and you know. Yeah, but anyway, keep going.
But the bottom line is, he got dizzy and he collapsed in front of Prince Charles because of the fake bug, right? Unless he was enamored so much by Prince Charles that it caused him to get lightheaded, and he fake fell backwards because of that. But that was a nice piece of work too.
Yeah, it was really, yeah, like you said, I mirrored that video. Maybe, I don't know, it was Prince Charles's breath that knocked him over or something. I don't you don't know where Prince Charles, where his God would have been.
He just has that kind of face where you just assume he must have bad breath, right?
Yeah. And once again, the cameraman doesn't exactly show when he hits the ground, but I'm sure there's going to be someone out there that's going to make a video showing how he hit his head. No, we won't get into that. Sorry, we've covered that ground, and
let's leave it in the past.
hang on. I've got this idiot making these stupid comments. I'm going to terminate him. Hang on.
You always got to have one idiot in the chat.
If you're going to make comments, where is he?
Get that sucker.
You don't know who it is. I'm going to get rid of him. I don't know. He's gone. You know, if you're going to make comments, make something that's applicable to the show, idiot. All right, he's gone. Sorry. Another thing I want to point out. Hang on, he's still making comment. Yeah, is how this bug. It's so selective, and all the viruses and whatever we've had over the years, this one only attacks old people, and it's sort of caring for the young, as you know. No one under 50 in Australia has died in 6 months, but I get this, Tim. 3.7 million children under 5 die in the world every year. 3.7 million under 5.
Right.
And we're worried about a bug that hasn't killed one single child, teenager, or anyone. Or they'll say there's a few, younger people. Because when you notice that the mainstream media always will interview and make stories about the younger, someone that might be a 23-year-old, as we've seen. I don't know if you've seen this clown here in Melbourne, who in the last year is catching private jets to Canberra, and he's talking to Prince Harry. He's seen shoulder to shoulder with Bill Shorten, with Daniel Andrews. Oh, but all of a sudden he's just a dark guy in the outer suburbs who caught COVID-19 and is interviewed on Channel 7. We've seen him on Channel 7 and Channel 9 before that. What a lot of bullshit, but it's because he's 23. We've got to tell the story, the same shit. Oh, I just got it from nowhere. I didn't have any symptoms, and that's the thing they're going to push, just like they did with that fucking idiot Richard Wilkins here, who came in contact with Rita Wilson, Tom Shanks' supposed wife. They're going to push the bullshit that anyone can catch it. But as we know, in June the 6th, was it? Some clown in the WHO, in the press statement, said it cannot be spread from asymptomatic people. It cannot be spread through the air or through touch. And yet we are going to be forced to wear masks and all this bullshit. And as the idiots here keep pushing, in their press conferences, sorry, we're going to live with this COVID normal world.
The new normal.
Until we get a vaccine and is administered to everyone. They put that in their little 10-minute, 15 talk. You got to pick it out. Most people won't, pick it out. But, if you listen to it closely, that's what they keep saying, Bill
Gates calls it an amazing vaccine. He said, until an amazing vaccine comes along, we're going to have to keep shutting shit down.
Yeah, well, how's Bill been going? We go back to the Q-Tars, they say he's been killed. Have you seen Bill lately? And Madlinda?
I don't think they're going to kill him. It's like a game of chess. The king never gets killed, They can. I haven't heard that there's no way that they're going to kill Bill. That was just a movie plot, I guess.
Kill Bill. Never thought of that. Obviously produced by a Q-Tard.
Yeah, that's Q. That's Q talk.
Q talk.
Yeah, that they're going to kill. They're going to imprison people. There's going to be tribunals. Nothing's going to happen unless enough folks get woke. Folks don't want to get woke. They don't want to face this. They hate truth and reality with a passion.
You're exactly right. They don't want to get woke. Has anyone been to Guantanamo Bay lately? Have they thrown out all these terrorists that they've captured? These fake, phony ISIS terrorists to give back way for, Bill Gates and the Clintons and whoever? Because apparently they're all going to go to Gitmo, aren't they?
Yeah.
Put on trial.
And for that matter, we don't hear that propaganda about what they're doing to the illegals that come over the Mexican borders. What happened to that story?
There's a wall there now, isn't there?
There's something of a wall. I don't think it's much of a wall. Now the people are going to be going in the other direction to go to Mexico the way things are going.
Oh, yeah. There's some funny pictures that I've seen. Oh, I'll get it out. Don't worry about it. You know how they show these, what do you call them, people coming in from Indonesia on these boats trying to get into Australia, or refugees, whatever you want to call them. It's got the opposite. People leaving Victoria trying to go to Indonesia to get out of Victoria. It's hilarious. And there's other videos that have been made out. The borders are closed and we're trying to escape Victoria. Everyone's trying to escape. I mean, I don't blame them. I'd love to get out of this fucked up place. I hate to say it, like I keep saying, it was the most livable place in the world. Not that I've been around. I've been through Europe and a few other places, but by God, it's been destroyed. It's been destroyed by these fucking pieces of fucking filth, whoever they may be. It's sad because the people here still believe it. They're living a great life, And I don't know how far it has to go before they fucking realise, hey, something's not right here. I mean, to me, that should have been months ago. But even now, this second lockdown, but no, they're just going to blindly accept it. And because they've got this, opinion that, it'll just go away. It'll be good. The vaccine, if that comes good, I'll take it. Can't do any harm to me. But, this is just as all other pandemics or whatever comes and goes. I mean, that's the mentality of people. She'll be right, mate. As you know, that's the Aussie, Ocker. She'll be right, mate. Right. Sorry, it's not right at all. It is fucked. And I'll say it again. It is fucked.
It's foobabbed, as they say in the military. Fucked up beyond all belief.
Say that again. Fucked up beyond all.
Foobabbed.
Football. That's a good one. Just while we're here, Tim, we're going to actually should have a minute silence for this. My great friend, as you know, a fellow Australian had his channel terminated after 11 years. You know who I'm talking about?
Iggy.
Iggy. Yeah, well, it's not his real name, but no one knows what his real name is. But yeah, that's sad, isn't it? Did you really? Were you sad? Did you send him condolences? Did you?
They retired that fuck, huh?
Could be.
Now I gotta get his butt buddy Jimmy Eastwood. Vinny Eastwood is his name.
Oh yeah, Vinny's happy because it's just been donated a car from all his subscribers. It's wonderful how he asked for money for a car, and not a problem. Everyone says, "Yep, Vinny, you're a good man. You're a great man." It's just so fucked, honestly. But anyway, back to Iggy. It's amazing, I don't follow it. I haven't been following for a long time, but apparently a few videos were removed, and he put them on BitChute. And I actually watched him walking around where he's talking to his birds. What do you call them? The
cockatoos or whatever.
I forget what they look like. But he went on a rant like you cannot believe in one of them, using the C word, and it's not like his normal character. But what he was saying there, look, I know my YouTube channel is going to go. I know my YouTube channel is going. Where does this come from? How does he know his YouTube channel is going to go after 11 years when he's got no strikes on it? And 2 days later, his YouTube channel's gone, and he's made another video on BitChute. Cool as, no problems. I'm on this. I've appealed. But, if he appeals and gets his channel back like Richie from Boston did, well, it's fucking bullshit. There's no way. No one you can get your channel back. I've appealed a few times. No way. Within hours, I get told, see you later. You're not going to get it back. But as you said, they've retired him. He's done his job. He's done his Christchurch job. He's fooled everyone.
And Las Vegas. I didn't even know he was defending the Las Vegas fake show until you mentioned, because I don't follow the motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He made this bullshit that he was there in California visiting a friend, and his friend and his girlfriend were in the crowd, and his girlfriend got shot and was in hospital. But when I asked him, go show me proof, go interview. That's when he started attacking me, and that's when I first started sussing out that this guy's a fraud. Yeah. But anyway, he's done his job. He's got his payment. He was getting I don't know what figure from donations from his patrons. He got well paid out. And they said, well, Max, this is a way, we'll just, somehow get you, off here. You've done your job, and just disappear into the night and live your life with all the money that you've made. We don't need you anymore because we've hit the end game here. We don't need you anymore. We don't need it anymore. The world's fucked. We've got the world by the balls, mate. You've helped us out. And it's total censorship, and we don't need you anymore.
But it was easy to build up a big channel. If YouTube is leaving you alone, it's easy to build up a big channel with a lot of subscribers, isn't it? For you, PK, every time you start to get some headway, right, you get enough attention, a lot of people subscribe, bang, it's gone, right? And then you have to start off all over again. And then it's hard for those people to find you again, I guess, right?
Tim, 4 or 5 weeks ago, I lost my channel, which I had for 9 months. I got to 13,000. I was getting there, and bang, it's gone. And 2 weeks later, my next one's gone. Yeah. And I'm back to like 1,000. It's the numbers don't matter to me, but of course you want to get as many people out there to see your stuff.
Yeah,
and, I was looking at 500 comments every morning.
Right.
5 weeks ago. Now I'm looking at 20 or 30.
Right.
And people are saying, even say, "Oh, good to see you're back." This is like 2 years ago. It's not hard to find me if you want to go on YouTube and just do a search. You type in PK, you'll see some fucking idiots that try to troll me, but that doesn't worry me. It just means I'm doing something right. If people want to attack me with shit like that, go ahead. I must be doing something right to silence me. So, yeah, but I'm last word on Iggy. We were friends for 5 years maybe. I'd lost my channel 2, 3, 4, 5 times in that time. Not once did he make a video or mention me in his talks
Right.
to help me out with his 200,000 subscribers. 200,000, yeah. Not once. I mean, you'd think he would have helped me out as a fellow Aussie. No, because he's all for himself. I don't think he's, pumped up anyone. And if you follow me, Tim, I quite often support people and have the smaller people, which is what we should be doing.
Right.
The people that are the small channels that, it's hard to get off the ground. You
Yeah.
might put up a good video and you got 20 subscribers and no one's seeing it. And unless the bigger people pump them up, a classic example is Lincoln Karim, the great guy in America who's
Right.
been following me for a while. And as you know, he's been driving his little scooter all around New York every day. And he had under 1,000 subs, and I pumped him up. And he was so grateful. He's got 11,000 subscribers now, 10 times more than me. But it's great. Otherwise, no one would have, really known. And the work he's doing has been absolutely sensational. So anyway,
And PK, I try to do the same thing. I put a little something in the annotations when I make a song about the fake bug, but I'm doing things a little differently than other folks. I try to fly under the radar, and I just call it the fake bug, and I don't get detected by YouTube. I could start another channel, but I hate the aggravation of always getting shot down. But, I do what I can. People get the message when they know what I'm talking about when I'm singing about the fake bug, But we all have our own different style and approach.
oh, well, yeah, of course. It'd be boring if we're all the same. You might as well just listen to the one person. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna Gary Knight, my friend who's in here, who says my coffee was shit. He sent me I've just made the video before the show. Probably people haven't seen it. I have to read this out. Thanks, Gary, for the info. Let me freaking work this out now. God. I gotta somehow share screen. Let me find this. Keep talking, Tim. What?
Oh, okay. What else can I say while you're doing that? I wrote down a few things.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, the masks are mandatory in California, New Jersey, and Colorado. So you have these idiots walking around outside, and it's the summertime all over the United States. You can't even catch a cold in that kind of weather. And I just wanted to bring up something about September, because you mentioned September. And I think I sent you the video where this fella, I forget his name, but I could send it to you. Make sure you get it. On the WHO website itself, the World Hoax Organization, okay? The guy left a link in the description box, and you go to it, and you see that they planned this out in September of 2019. You see the page, the link goes directly to it. You have the picture up on the top of the fake corona CGI virus. You have the people wearing masks, and they're warning that it's coming, right? This is in September in 2019. But also, as a surprise bonus, they told us at that time that phase 2 of the fake bug begins in September of 2020, which is only 2 months away, which is also the anniversary of 9/11. The Bill Gates of hell, Bill Gates, says phase 2 of the operation begins in October, November. So here they are. It's not just a script that they're reading off of, but it's a script that everybody else could read off and see for themselves. Feast on it with your own eyes, and you can see that they're telling you that they did it, and they're telling you that they're going to do it some more. Of course, this is not going to be on the fake news. And of course, Event 201, held by Bill Gates in October of 2019, the first ever pandemic tabletop exercise where they go through what it's going to be like when they do this shit to us, was held in October of 2019, before the fake bug even flew. All right.
Keep going. I've got to find this. Hang on, keep going.
Oh, okay. So I'll keep going. What else do I got here? I wrote down a few talking points. Yeah, I mean, what could be better than that? They're telling you. And then in the Rockefeller document that was written in 2010, that think tank document, and people got to understand, Rockefeller doesn't write these books and manuals because he wants to help out humanity. He writes these books and shit to show you what, and his friends, what they're going to do. That in the chapter of the book called Lockstep, he describes perfectly how all the Western nations, all the governments are going to cooperate in unison, in lockstep, to produce this fake bug story. And people are not getting it. They turn on the TV, the radio, and the newspaper, and they look at it, and because that's all they know, that's all they can know. Where even the commercials are promoting the fake bug. COVID-19, 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 COVID-19. It's like Hitler said, keep the lie simple and keep repeating it. And that's the most effective form of propaganda there is. Even if it's a lie, people will begin to perceive that as being the truth. And it doesn't matter. I showed you a video, Peekay, where they show the 33s over and over again. You also did an excellent video on how to use the number 400, was it? Over and over and over. I think you said you're going to do another one of those too.
Yeah, I'm going to do that again, get a more up-to-date version, but yeah.
Yeah, they use certain numbers, symbols, signs, even colors. When they were promoting Ebola, everything was green. The screen was green. The hospitals were green. The costume, the scrubs they wore were green. The test tube tops were green. And then when Congress held an emergency meeting about the Ebola crisis, they chose a green-colored conference room. And then they had an easel that they put the thing up where they point at and say, yeah, Ebola, Ebola. That was green. But Peekay, you're still a bit busy organizing something.
Timmy, let me go. I'm going to read this out for people there. Like I said, thanks to Gary. Gary is still there. You can see this is a letter from the Department of Health and Human Services here in Melbourne, obviously a government body. It was a reply to someone with the name crossed out who sent an FOI, a Freedom of Information request. And this will stag you. This is their reply. I refer to your application made pursuant to the Freedom of Information Act, received by the Department on 5th of May 2020. One document that shows, this is the quote from the person who sent this, one document that shows and provides scientific factual evidence of the testing procedure being used in Australia that 100% positively identifies COVID-19, otherwise known as SARS-CoV-2, in bracket, not any other type of coronavirus, in a living human beyond any reasonable doubt. And I'll just skip this shit here.
Oh, so really it's fucking SARS then, huh, Peekay?
What was that?
That really then it's SARS that they're trying to push on us, been calling it by a different name.
Oh, they've called it SARS-CoV-2 for a while now.
Okay.
But anyway, this is yeah. On the basis of your request, the Regulation, Health Protection and Emergency Management Division, can you imagine who they are? God knows. Conducted a thorough, they probably got two people together and says, for about 5 seconds, says, yeah. But anyway, a thorough and diligent search, they did a search, and advised that no relevant documents have been located. The division advised that a scan of the publicly available literature found that there is currently no, I repeat, no test available that 100% positively identifies COVID-19 in a living human beyond any reasonable doubt, as all diagnostic tests have a margin of error. So there it is. No test available that 100% positively identifies COVID-19, but yet We're told test, 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 test. Cases, cases, cases. It is a scam. It is a fucking scam. And there it is right from their own words. I mean, it's a joke, Tim. It's a fucking joke. And people got to see that. Test, test, test my ass. And I'll give you an example. A footballer here, an Irish guy who came back from Ireland during the break, supposedly tested negative, 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 because they'd been tested virtually every day. Then it got a mild positive. I don't know where they get this mild positive bullshit.
Wow.
And then 2 days later, 2 days later, he tested negative. Oh, but it was all over the news, you know, AFL footballer test positive, blah, blah, blah. They cancelled the game that was supposed to be played that day. And, you know, how dare, you know, how can you go negative, 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 positive, mild to negative 2 days later? and I heard, actually, this was Max Egan. I hate to say this, but in that rant he did that I watched, he said he knew someone, a woman, a nurse, whose friend tested negative, then positive, then negative, like, you know, unbelievable. Within days, it went from one to the other, back to the other. I mean, that's bullshit. I mean, it is bullshit. There's so many different tests now. I don't know if you saw, I was staggered when I did I went outside last week and I spoke to a guy just sitting there outside of a shop. And because this was in one of those suburbs near me, which was supposedly one of the clusters, the hotspot. And he said, yeah, they came around and asked me to do the test. And then they gave him a bag. They gave him a self-testing kit. Are you fucking joking? What you can do with that? You could be contaminated. You could do what you like with it. You could piss on it. You could do anything with it and just, you know, seal it and send it back or whatever. I mean, how bullshit is that? You can't do a test like that. You need to, you know, do a strict test under proper, you know, conditions where it can't be contaminated. It's ludicrous. I mean, I would have just sent it back. That's what people have done. They've just put saline solution on it, send it back, and it's tested positive. It's a farce, just like that Tanzanian.
Yeah. Everything that the Tanzanian president sent them, whether it was a piece of fruit or a box or whatever, it comes back positive for COVID, right?
Exactly. Oil, pawpaw, a goat, a sheep. I mean, fucking what? It is absolute garbage. You're telling me every country and city in the world has got the pathology to do this?
Yeah.
Bullshit. No way, no. Then all of a sudden, you know, they got all this supposed testing. But the testing originally, you know, of course, it's the RT-PCR, which we know is 80% false positive.
Right.
But, you know, that took like 3 days. If you remember my doctor 3 months ago, I filmed that he threw me out when I said it was all bullshit.
Yeah.
He said, oh, no, we got to go to the hospital. It takes 3 days. Oh, but soon there'll be one where it takes 15 minutes. I mean, what? All of a sudden we get these ones that gone from 3 days to 15 minutes, and it's just fucking bullshit. You know, and I actually went and saw him 2 days ago, and I didn't say a word. I didn't want to say a word. And there he was, still wearing his mask. Everyone in the waiting room was wearing a mask, except me. I went to the counter just to say, you know, I've got my appointment, and yeah, sit down. And then the woman, a few minutes later, went to the counter. She said the same thing, and the woman behind the counter said, "Oh, would you like a mask?" And she gave her a mask, and she's trying to put it on. I felt like saying, just fucking throw that shit away. Why didn't the receptionist ask me if I wanted a mask? Do I look like someone who would say, stick your mask up your ass? I don't know. I mean, I said,
you do.
I did say, good morning, how are you? You know, but no, she didn't ask me if I wanted a mask. But so the thing is, I should have started coughing in there, and they would have run out like rats. You know? He's got a mask. Imagine the commotion that would have happened. It would have been fucking hysterical. I might do that next time. I'll go in a shopping centre in a supermarket tomorrow and start coughing my lungs out. I reckon they'll get security, and there'll be half a dozen of them grab me and throw me out. No, throw me out. They'll ring for the an ambulance or the police, and locked me up and put me in quarantine for 2 weeks because I coughed. It's absurd, mate.
But
it's absurd.
BK, I like what. Now I know that the inventor of the test. I understand that he passed away. The inventor of the test himself said that it's worthless for the purpose of diagnosing this shit. But what you showed me, PK, is and everybody else is particularly stunning, where they admit there is no test for this thing, right? And then they always leave that little way out for themselves. What do they say? Well, there's a margin of error for every test, right?
Yeah, you're right. 1981, this guy stated it should never be used to diagnose diseases, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the only shit they use. And we know for a fact COVID-19's never been isolated or purified. We're not testing for COVID-19. We're testing for a genetic strand that we all have.
Yeah.
You know, you just amplify it up if you want, and you're going to find it in people. You don't need to amplify it for the old people, the 90-year-olds who already die. And why the fuck would you test someone that's died already, you know, in a nursing home, and to see if they're, positive, another, COVID victim? Why would you test someone? If they die, they die. They die from old age. You don't have an autopsy on elderly people. It's just beyond belief. You know, you talk to people that say, oh, I was even that idiot. I rang up, because I did a call. I rang up the Prime Minister's office and Daniel Andrews. I think it was Daniel Andrews. It could have been the Prime Minister. Oh, no, one of the two. You know, when I said it's all bullshit, she said, when I asked her, do you know anyone that's suffered or died? She says, oh, no, of course not. I said, well, I don't either. No one I know. Oh, but I've got an old mother or grandmother, and I'm worried that she might get affected. They always use this. Even my ex, her mother's still kicking, and she's not in a good way now, but, you know, I heard my son say a couple of months ago, oh, she's really worried that's going to affect the mother who's 93 or 94. I mean, that's what everyone's got in their mind. My mother, my grandmother, they're going to die from it. Oh, fucking give up. They're not going to die from any bullshit bug.
And, you know, a lot of the sheep will say, yeah, people in my family got sick. They don't want to even entertain the idea that maybe they just had a regular common seasonal cold or flu. No, it had to be COVID, because as I see it on TV and the radio and the newspaper, it had to be COVID.
Yeah, well, the flu doesn't exist anymore, and the common cold doesn't exist anymore. It's COVID normal. And I just, like I said, I don't turn the TV on, thank God. I don't even watch the football anymore, but I go to bed at nights, especially on Fridays and Saturdays, Sundays when the footy's on. They have a summary at the end, like late at night. And by God, every time they go to an ad or the news, it's all COVID this, COVID that, COVID that. Doesn't matter if it's a commercial about any business. Oh, in this COVID world we live in, blah, 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 in this. And it was even one last night. The company name I can't remember, Face Masks Australia or something. Oh, they're advertising face masks, and it said something about if you get 4, you get a discount or some shit. But it's all saturation. It's media-induced hysteria. It's unbelievable. 4 months in, that's you know what it's like. That, like, you know, Goebbels. There's a Goebbels. He'd be rolling in his grave. The propagandist, the propaganda machine for the Nazis. He'd be rolling his grave, thinking, "Fucking hell, this is amazing." You know, the world's been fooled by this fucking lie. And I say it right here now. Not only just people in Melbourne, but everywhere around the world. What we should be doing is going to these media places, wherever it's newspapers or radio stations or TV networks, and going out there and protesting, well, not so much protest, but being out there in front and fronting these pieces of garbage that, you know, the news readers or the fucking radio hosts or whatever, because they are the virus. We have to stop the mainstream media from pushing this shit, this saturation. If we stop the mainstream media, I mean, honestly, I've said it to people, turn off your TV, turn off your radio, don't watch the news, and you wouldn't know there was a fucking virus.
Right.
You wouldn't know. Take your mask off and you wouldn't know there's any viruses. Bullshit, which there isn't. We've got to stop the mainstream media, and that's been a nemesis for years and years and years.
Right.
If it wasn't for the media, we wouldn't be in this position, because you cannot have fucking Scummo or Andrews making a press conference without the media. If you didn't have the mainstream media, maybe we should have our own media there and filming it and questioning him. That's what we should be doing, and not just having Channel 7 and Channel 9 asking their bullshit questions that are scripted already to him. We have to somehow eliminate the mainstream media, and it's not hard to do. If we have the numbers and we all front these people, I can't mention names, you won't know them in Australia, but people know the Hitchiners, the Koshers, that piece of garbage, Neil Mitchell on 3AW. We got to confront them when they walk out of the studio or walk in or go to the car or, fucking how do you sleep at night knowing that this is bullshit? It's disgusting. They're not protected. They're not ex-prime ministers like Johnny Howard, who even today goes for his walk and he has 12 security guards walking with him. What the fuck is that shit? An ex-prime minister, one of the most evil, wickedest bastards that's ever walked, has 12 security guards every time he walks. Why does he need to be protected? Give me some security guards when I go for a fucking walk. Not that I want them, but what makes him so special? What makes George Archbishop Pedophile Pell so special that when he gets out of his car, when he rolls up to 5 minutes of a court, he has 20 fucking cops there to allow him to walk into the court? If I go to court, do I have 20 cops protecting me? And we're talking about one of the most wickedest pedophiles that's ever existed, and I can get onto that. What a fucking farce that was. Oh, he's got given 6.5 years. Oh, yeah, we'll accept that. We'll accept that. We know full well he's going to appeal and get off because he never went to fucking prison.
Yeah.
I'll bet you my life he never went to prison, and they staged him leaving Barwon prison when he supposedly got off on appeal. Oh, and the media, after he got sentenced, they made out, oh, yeah, it's really good that he got convicted and all this bullshit. All garbage to make out, oh, yeah, we've really got this guy and he's going to serve his penalty. I don't know if you know this, Tim, but going back to the Burke Street bullshit, this clown, the actor, who knows where he is, he's not in a prison, Jimmy Donuts, whatever you want to call him, he was found guilty, 38 years, like whatever, bullshit. The judge that sat on that, Weinberg, you could tell Weinberg by the name where he's from, he came out of a 6-month retirement. Can you believe it, to do that? You're not going to believe this. When George Pell went to the high court, whatever, to the initial appeal, he lost 2-1. Out of the 3 people, the high court judges, whatever, it could have been the Supreme Court judge, I don't know, it was one of the first appeals. Out of the 3, 2-1, the guy that voted 1 to sort of uphold his appeal, guess what? It was Mr. Weinberg. Are you fucking kidding? He's come back out of retirement for the Garga Solis bullshit, and it just happens to sit as one of the 3 big judges for Archbishop Pell. All a fucking circus. And wake up, people. Wake up. Ring the detention centres. Say you want to visit Garga Solis. You should have been doing that fucking last year. Say you want to visit George Pell. Give him a bit of, what's the word? Compassion, bit of, what's the word? Whatever. No way. They'll make some bullshit excuse. Oh, he's not taking visitors. That's because he's not fucking even in Prison. Guaranteed prison, my ass. Can you imagine him being in prison? There's never been any footage of him, dressed in a robe or anything. They show him being led out of the Supreme Court into a bullshit fucking van. Who knows where that went? Didn't go to a prison. Anyway, sorry I changed the subject there,
But how the fuck does a judge come out of retirement to hear a controversial case like that? I mean, so at least some alarm bells should have went off, right?
Weinberg, it says it all, mate.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And you have a similar thing here in the United States, where certain controversial cases, you have the same judge. You had the same judge for Boston Hoaxathon, but she was also the same judge for that theater shooting, the Aurora shooting theater.
O.J. Simpson.
I'm not Judge Lawyer. I meant to say, yeah. I forget her name, but she's always there for these high-profile cases, and there's a reason for that because it's all bullshit. And the same guy who did the autopsy for Epstein, very old man, was also the same.
Georgie Porgy.
Yeah, it was also the same guy who did the autopsy on Kennedy, if I got my information correct on that.
And George Floyd.
And he did George Floyd too, right?
Yeah, George Floyd, just a black guy, yeah, a black porn star. Yeah.
The human kickstands, George Floyd.
I can't breathe. Yeah, well, I'll take your fucking mask off. It might help.
I think he's breathing better than anybody with that $13 million GoFundMe page.
Oh, that was just one of them.
Oh, he made more money than that?
Oh, Kanye West donated $2 million for his daughter. And there was another one that went over $2 million, but God knows. Yeah, good man, George. He did well in his porn movies, but anyway,
people will be more interested in buying those porn movies, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, can you imagine what he's making from them now? His family might be in the top 10 of the wealthiest in the world soon.
The guy's making money hand over fist and ejaculating all over the place.
This is there's children might be watching this. It's only 10 in the morning. Eh?
I should have said that. It's a family show.
Yeah.
Well, kids don't know what ejaculate means. So anyway.
No, you reckon?
I use the scientific term, so they can't say anything.
Apparently, you can't do that anymore because that's going to spread corona.
Oh yeah. Well, the fake bug is everywhere and could do anything. It's in your semen, it's in your doo-doo, it's in your breath, it's in the air. It's a world-class traveler. It comes to us on airplanes and cruise ships, and it skips over the countries that are right adjacent to China, doesn't it, Peekay?
Good old Vietnam, 100 million people, and I think it's still zero. Yeah, but apparently, like this idiot told me, they got in early. They saw the signs early and closed their borders, and that's how it stopped the bug. Yeah, I mean, fucking, are you kidding me? Close the borders. Yeah.
Because if you're the fake bug, what the fuck do you want to go to Vietnam for? When you got some more picturesque and hospitable places like the USA, Australia is nice too. So it's a good vacation destination. The fake bug is picky about where it goes. That's all.
But it always manages to go in a little old nursing homes.
And it loves old people. It loves to feast on old folk who are going to die next year or next month or next week anyway.
Of all places, that's the last place a bug's going to get because it's pretty sanitized and we got people they're not leaving their place. They're isolated. They're in lockdown. They're not going out mixing with the world. Right. And even now in lockdown, no one's visiting them. But they're only dying. Only people are dying at once in nursing. I mean, I heard last night that there's outbreaks in a few nursing homes. I mean, fucking get fucked outbreaks in nursing homes. What about outbreaks in wherever where there's people gathering? I mean, and the laugh. Go back to this Melbourne shit. the Black Lives Matter protest, what's it now, 5 weeks ago, 6, I made a few calls asking why no one's dying from it. 10,000 people in Melbourne, 10,000 Adelaide, 10,000 Brisbane, 10,000 Sydney. But as you know, there's no cases in the other states, even though they had the same shit. Oh, but, you know, they said there was a few cases from the 10,000 in Melbourne. And even people now are saying, you know, using, this is how smart they are. They're all attacking dictator Dan, making out, you know, how we stuffed up. You allowed 10,000 people to march side by side, no social distancing. But there was no cases from it. But if you're going to use that, you've got to use it as well in the other states, which they don't talk about. But he did that, and this fucking bullshit about quarantining in hotels where he didn't use the army, the ADF. He used just security, bum security, was supposedly having sex with people in there and spreading the virus, whatever. Cleverly used that we're going to attack him because he's probably on his way out. He's doing a Max Egan. He's done his job, you know. But what they don't say is, it's all bullshit. Don't worry about this thing. But what they're implying is, he fucked up, making it out that, there are cases, there are viruses spreading. So that's how they do it, you know. Instead of coming out, don't worry about what he did. It's all fucking bullshit. But they're making out that he's the villain, and that's the reason why. That's like initially how they brought in the cruise ships and all that shit, people coming off there to bring it to Australia. But they're using Daniel Andrews as the scapegoat for the one causing this spread in towers and fucking bullshit. Because they have to use something. They've got to use something. They can't just say, Victoria out of nowhere has got all these cases. As I pointed out, that's because they're doing more tests than any fucking country in the world. But they've got to use their bullshit story. And he'll overcome this, whatever happens to him. If he gets upset out or in elections coming up, he doesn't give a shit. He's had his payout. He's done his job. He'll get a pat in the back from those who have used him. And people can't see this. Attack Dan Andrews, fucking this. Bullshit. He's just doing what he's been told. And don't fall for this shit about, you know, cases and spreading in nursing homes and towers and all this quarantine bullshit. It's amazing how 2 days before he announces this, all the Victorian 10 Victorian football teams were moved out of the state. Just by chance, 2 days later, he calls this lockdown, but he made sure that they've gone in the state to play the football in the state for the next month or 6 weeks, whatever. Amazing, that. And, you know, and people can't see this shit.
And Peekay, you brought up a very good point, where even people who are stupid as fuck are asking themselves, wait a minute, and how are the medical people saying, well, you know, the civil rights is a pressing, important medical issue, so the fake bug is not going to bother you if you have one of these protests where you burn down the community. The fake bug doesn't bother those people because it's a progressive, liberal, Antifa, Nazi bug, I guess.
And the thing is, exactly, the towers here,
right,
they're all populated by black people.
Yeah.
And yet there's not one single Black Lives Matter protest for these people.
No.
Why is that? Because you'd think they'd be helping them out. Not one single fucking protest about it. And, of course, like I said, 500 cops out there, you know, and they arrested people on the third day, just good people that we know who went to the initial protest, one that I went to, you know, women just standing there talking and filming with their cell phones, and the cops took them away and fined them. You know, it's all about fining people now, you know.
Yeah.
Fucking fining. I don't know, mate. September. Sorry.
I think it's Colorado where they're saying, they'll fine you $1,000 and put you in jail for a year. Where in New York City, the Joker has seized control of Gotham City, where they're letting prisoners out of prison and jail because they're concerned that they're going to be giving the fake bug to each other. But then wouldn't they be giving the fake bug to the people in the general population if you let them out of jail?
Exactly. You keep them in jail because that's lockdown. I mean, that is lockdown.
Yeah, literally.
And they're there for a reason. And why they're doing that, and yet lockdown, healthy people. I'll classify myself as one of them. We're put in quarantine. No, we're not put in quarantine. We're in fucking tyranny.
Yeah,
we put healthy people in a quarantine. That's tyranny.
Yeah, putting in people in quarantine is meant for sick people. So if you want to quarantine healthy people, that's not quarantine. That's house arrest.
Exactly.
For the crime of simply being alive.
You just got to look at it right from the start. If this was real, and we know it's attacking the older people, supposedly, you would just 100% do something about these nursing homes or the older people and isolate them and make sure that they get looked after and let the other 95% of the population go about their lives.
Right.
We do have to destroy the fucking economy, people's livelihoods, children's education. Not that I give a fuck. It's great that people are staying home, home education, but you're not imagining that parents are home educating their children. No way freaking no that, 5% maybe might be at the time to do that. Parents just don't have the time to do that, let alone, But honestly, if you were the Prime Minister or a Premier, your number one concern should be the health of the people, but it's not. They make out it is, but it should be to make sure the economy is going well and people have got jobs. I know it's all about jobs, surviving, but that's how life is. That's your number one priority. Don't give me this flattening the curve shit, which all that means is drag this on forever and ever and ever till the vaccine comes out. That's another term, flattening the curve. No, drag it on. And people, we'll have the second wave, third wave, fucking bullshit wave. Don't give me this fucking crap. Who knows what's going to happen now with this Victoria, how it's going to spread to the other states. It has to. It has to. You can't just have one state having this shit, then coming out of it, and then all's well. It's amazing. I mean, I like to have a flutter on the races now and then. Yesterday, it was amazing to watch the races interstate and actually hearing a crowd, an actual crowd at a racetrack. For 3 months, there's been no crowds at racetracks, and it's like deafening silence. It's not the same, but when you hear people at the end of a race cheering and that, it's so much different. And the same with football. Like, I don't watch the footy now, but they're allowing crowds in the state, whether it's only 1,000, doesn't matter. Apparently next week there's going to be 30,000 in the game in Perth between my team and Geelong. In a crowd of capacity of 60,000, they're allowing 30,000 people. But of course in Victoria, there's no crowds. We aren't even allowed to go to a fucking pub. We're not even allowed to play golf now. Again, I mean, sorry, go on.
But Peekay, it amazes me that they're doing exactly what was a known, proven success to keep the people happy. In Rome, when the citizenry was getting uppity, let's say, he said, "Let's send them to the circus, give them bread and circus, gladiatorial games and everything," and it kept the people happy. Now they're taking away all of that which previously existed. You had your games, you had your football, you had your baseball, you had your footy, you had your hockey, whatever, and they took it away. And all they had to do was give us this fake bug narrative, and the people just nodded their heads in agreement. Yeah, we got to do our part. And Peekay, all the cliches that comes out of this thing too. Social distancing, together, apart. We're all in this together. What are some of the things they say? They just have a bunch of talking points and phrases that they say over and over again. And the people are nodding their head again. Yeah, social distancing. Yeah, we got to wear masks. Yeah, we got to do this. Yeah, we stay home, save lives.
Yeah, yeah.
If you stay home, you save lives. If you leave your house, then you potentially are killing millions of people, I guess.
Yeah, clusters now, hotspots. It used to be family. What is it now? It's community. Go from family to community. They just keep bringing new ones every freaking day. Um, but yeah, they'll keep using the good ones like social distancing and all that shit. Um, it's just fucking drumming in saturation, as I said, fucking non-stop. I cannot believe, like I said when I turn the radio on at night, it's just fucking non-stop. It's a crisis, coronavirus crisis, COVID-19 crisis. We're in this crisis. We're all in this crisis together.
Yeah. I'm not in it with them. I'm in it with you, PK. Me and you are together apart right now, and that's only because of geographical reasons.
That's right, mate. Yeah. It's just,
you know those clowns and I admit they're a little bit funny, but these local idiots with their little podcasts, right? But they were so terrified of their fake bug. Prior to the fake bug, they would go over this one guy's house and have their little comedy chat, right? But as soon as the fake bug hit, they went on Zoom, and they all looked like the gay Brady Bunch on the screen. Let me just say their names so I give them an excuse to watch this. Paul M. Go ahead.
Is there a Mr. Anus or someone?
Yeah, Mr. Anus. Anthony Ennis, who I affectionately call Anthony Anus. Paul M. Field. Dave Hodge. This other guy who blocked me, Terry Collins. Yeah, those guys are fucking fools. And I send them the evidence that comes directly from you, PK, and other people. It's only a few minutes worth of video. Either they didn't invest a few moments of time that it would have took to look at your evidence, or they looked at it and they just don't see it. The mind can only see what the eyes can accept, I guess. They don't want to be in reality. They want to be in this fantasy bubble, wearing bubble wrap and masks like idiots. They look like idiots. They sound like idiots.
Janu too. This is what we were trying to say before. Quarantine is restricting the movement of the sick. Tyranny is restricting the movement of the healthy.
Precisely.
Well, exactly. And yeah, look, I don't know where this is going to go, mate. September, that's only, 6 weeks ago, mate.
The only thing we do know, PK, is wherever it's going, it's taking us with us. Even though we know better than the herd, and we can't it's an exercise in futility to educate and get the word out there. Okay, but we're going to keep doing it because that's what we do. That's all.
Yeah, in my experience over the 3 or 4 months, the people I do stop and talk to are virtually, not 100% awake, but pretty much. There's not many that I'm talking to on the street that are believing this shit, which is good. Maybe I'm lucky. I'm just getting by coincidence, but that's a good sign. It's a very good sign. But I've been talking to idiots on sites. I won't say what they are, but dating sites. First few words, it's virtually goodbye. I'm a nut. I'm a nut. I got to stay home, stay safe, like you said. This virus, it's deadly and all this fucking bullshit. But when you ask them, do you know anyone that's died from this? Or no. Oh, but there's people. The big one that they used, of course, was the initial fake footage in China where people were dropping dead. And whether that's from 5G, we haven't even worried about 5G lately. Who knows where that's going? But that footage was the big one to start people going. And, we haven't seen any footage like that anywhere since. And then, of course, they used the numbers in Italy, the big numbers in Italy. For some reason, they used them. And then, of course, taken over in New York. And
they had to walk back those numbers. But people don't hear about the walk back. They don't want to know about the walk back.
Yeah, but they still haven't changed the numbers. If you look at the John Hopkins bullshit fucking numbers, they haven't changed the numbers. But we know they're all bullshit. But yeah, you talk to someone here and you mentioned 106 deaths. Oh, but that's because Dan Andrews has put us in lockdown. He's a wonderful man. He saved all these lives because there should have been 100,000 people killed. That's what they said at the start. And is that what they said at the start? Yeah, that's what they said at the start. Who fucking said at the start? Oh, the health experts and the Prime Minister. Really? Because they knew 100,000 people were going to die, did they? Oh, yeah. Maybe because they fucking read the script, you fucking idiot. That's why they say 100,000 people died and 2 million in America and 1 million in Britain. When it's fucking 100 as compared to 100,000 and you're doing fuck all about it. You shit yourselves and you're shit frightened of, even if there was a real virus and you lock yourself inside and you're shit scared to go out. How weak as piss are you? Grow some fucking balls, people in Melbourne, Australia, the world. If you get a virus, so fucking be it. You got only a 0.03 chance of dying. Oh, no, but let's fucking believe what the government tells us. It's absurd, mate.
And PK, to an extent, the government isn't even lying because, like, on the front page of the Post, it said, 110,000 tears for the people who die. And I think they ramped the number up to about 165,000. People don't want to keep in mind that the United States is a country of like 340 million people. So the statistic is trivial, infinitesimal, minuscule. It has nothing to do with reality. You don't shut down the country because of those numbers. You shouldn't. And the number is the same worldwide. 360,000 people died of the fake bug the last time I looked at it. The world has 7.5 billion people.
I'm correct there, Tim. It's just over 500,000 now.
Oh, it is? Okay.
500 something. Yeah, but take away America, Brazil, the UK, and it's virtually, that's like 60, 70%.
Okay.
It's amazing how it's the Western world that has these big figures, and not the third world countries that are around China and South Africa. All of a sudden, it's the Western world because that's what it's all about. It's the fucking dumb put in the heads of these fucking, like I said, the humanist, mentalist idiots in the Western world that it's affecting you. This bug isn't an African disease now. It's spread in Western society. Oh, fucking.
People pay to be lied to. In the UK, you have to pay a television tax or something. In the United States, we pay for cable. Do you pay for TV where you in your country, Peekay?
Oh, yeah, just pay TV. We had our normal, few channels that we've had for years.
Right.
But now it's like cable TV. It's Optus or Foxtel, where you got to pay, I don't know, $50-$60 a month, and you get all these bullshit channels. I mean, who wants to watch 100 fucking channels? You only want to watch one. If you want to watch a movie, get the DVD, which I've downloaded anyway. I've got enough movies to fucking fill a house, but people pay $60 to watch bullshit fucking crap on TV. Anyway, that's their choice. If they want to sit in front of a fucking stupid TV screen day and night, good on them. They've got nothing better to do in lockdown, I suppose, because you can't have sex anymore, like you said.
And when you're on lockdown, what do? You watch TV, I guess. But Peekay, what amazes me too is that everybody has access to a computer on their phone that they carry around, okay? And they're not even curious to look at another viewpoint on the fake bug? Or they use the computer exclusively for pornography? Is that it?
You have a good point, Tim. I was thinking about this last night, actually.
Yeah.
How they brought in the internet. And I'll give you a classic example here. I used to go camping with a few guys. A guy I worked with, a good friend of mine. I used to go to football all the time with. I worked with him for quite a few years. And him and his brother-in-laws and their friends are all, ex-bank workers. They used to camp on the border in the Murray River. I don't know, it's the border of New South Wales and Victoria. And I did that for quite a few years. We'd spend 3 or 4 nights there, virtually drinking all day and night, played a bit of golf if you could manage, the night before. And, the Murray River is a beautiful river, nice and warm, whatever. But this is before I really got into before I awoke, as you say.
Yeah.
I think it was in the early days. I can't remember because I know I started talking about things. It would have been like 2005, 6, 7, 8, I don't know, around then. Time flies, but they didn't want to listen to me. They laughed at me. And I'll never forget this day. We actually met a few times in the city for a luncheon at a club. I did that a few times. And we'd go upstairs to the sort of like the restaurant part, and 10, 12 of us would all sit there on the rectangular table, order our food. And I'll never forget this day. I brought along a few DVDs. I'm not sure what they were. They could have been loose change. I can't remember. Right. This is in the early days of my awakening.
Yeah.
And I started talking because I couldn't help myself. Geez, that could have been the start of the way I, used to talk to anyone about anything. And one guy was pretty much interested, but as usual, I was getting attacked by a few others. But get this, my so-called friend, who I wasn't working with then, we went our separate ways. I mean, obviously I wasn't working at all. I mean, in my computer, I was a computer programmer for 30 years. But I said something, and I remember what he said to me. He said, "Where did you hear that?" And I said, I think I said it was from the internet. And he started laughing at me. He says, "Oh, do you believe anything that you hear on the internet?"
Right.
This guy's a pretty intelligent guy.
Yeah.
And I have not seen him since that day. I mean, it's sad. I trusted one of my best friends. And that really, and I stopped going on these camping trips. I'm not sure if they still do it. Maybe they are. I know for a fact he didn't go the last few years. I don't know whether this luncheon was up, whatever. But I stopped seeing him and all those others because, to be being laughed at, and this is my early stages before chemtrails and everything else, and before all this shooting bullshit, whatever. But this was mainly 9/11, obviously. Because what else is there to talk about? But yeah, the internet. Well, the internet was actually put out there, by whoever, so they can spew not only on TV, the mainstream media lies, but what you see on the mainstream media on TV is on the internet as well.
Right.
But by doing that and by having social media, you're giving the opportunity for people, conspiracy theorists, who can't have their say on the mainstream media, but they're given the opportunity on the internet. Right. But a small percentage. That's a very small percentage. But that's your only hope. But according to this guy and others at that time, the internet's only full of bullshit and lies and conspiracy theories, thinking that the Channel 9 channels aren't on the internet. Bull fucking shit. They're all right. Don't worry about that. They're just duplicating everything that's on the TV. So it got to a point where, we'll allow these very small minority of truthers, whatever you want to call them, to put out their stuff because no one's really worrying about it. That went on for 10, years, 15, 14 years. Then the big hit, as you know, censorship started, Christchurch talks called, sorry. That was the big thing about that bullshit event. Censorship. Anyone's an extremist. How dare you film this bullshit on Facebook Live and show the world what a fucking load of bullshit, Facebook Live. But that's what they used, and that's how they're censored. We're fucked. Even our great friend Max Egan, after 11 years, he's gone. So you must admit that's how it was. The internet is full of lies, and that's all it is. But no, sorry, a small, tiny percentage were people who were trying to speak out. And that's the only, apart from sending smoke signals, which doesn't work too well, I've got to say. What fucking hope do we have?
We did have a good run for a while, Peekay. Now it's difficult to put information out anymore. And these idiots, they say, oh, don't believe everything you see on YouTube. Yeah, how about don't believe everything that you see on TV? And there are no conspiracy theorists to be had. There are only conspiracy analysts because everything is a conspiracy. Just throw a dart at the wall. Boom! Wherever it lands on a lie or something that's fake. And that's just the way it is. And people don't want to accept that. They can't conceive of it. They can't conceive of it.
They won't believe it until they see it on the news.
Right.
Give you a DVD showing you 100% this is bullshit, whether it's Boston, whether it's New Zealand. Yeah, I'll watch it. 6 months later, did you watch it? Oh, no, I haven't had time, mate. I've been busy. Yeah. I've been in lockdown. I haven't had time. But I've watched the fucking news every night for 1 hour or whatever. This saturation of bullshit, but they haven't got time to watch a DVD that you give them. It makes me sick. And that reminds me when I used to go to the gym. There was a person there, I can't remember. I gave a few DVDs out, the same thing. A week later, 2 weeks, oh, no, I haven't had time. Haven't fucking... What do you call it?
But all the time in the world to watch TV, right? Because...
Yeah, what's the term? Oh, I can't think of it. You know what I mean? It's like the time span of watching something is like a few seconds. What's the term? Anyway, it'll come to me.
The attention span.
That's it. Their attention span. You know, they might start watching, whatever, something on, whatever, my Boston trilogy. Right. And within 10 minutes, that's enough, That's enough. Hang on, I can't watch this. This is actually saying this is bullshit, and I've been believing this for the last 5, 6, 7 years. And hang on. No, I can't change my way of thinking. 9/11. Oh, no. Those towers were fucking hit by a plane. Don't try to tell me that was direct. What was that word? Direct energy weaponry? No. Never heard of it. No, I don't want to know about that. Please. No, those towers were hit by a plane, and it was those 19 hijackers. I mean, come on. Oh, pull out that DVD. Sorry, that'll do for me. Oh, fuck. Hang on. It's 6 o'clock. I better turn the news on. 23 cases in Victoria brings the number up to 2,700. Oh, you're in lockdown for 6 weeks. No worries. That's great. But no, don't worry about that DVD. I haven't got time in the next 6 weeks to watch the rest of that. Yeah. It's fucking unbelievable what we're putting up with, mate. Yeah. Humanist mentalists. That's the virus I said at the start. People, beware of this virus. It is fucking real. The HM virus is real. Humanist mentalists. People are fucking mentally ill. And there's no other explanation for it, Tim. That's a mental illness. If you're believing this shit and you cannot comprehend that the lies you've been told since the start of this fucking scamdemic pandemic, if you cannot work this out by now, you are mentally ill and you need help. Yeah. You need fucking help. I don't know what it is, what they can do, but going to a psychiatrist or whatever, that's not going to help you because they're just going to fucking call you out. If you say the opposite, Mr. Psychiatrist, I think this is bullshit, then he'll call you out as a nut. Yeah. And he'll lock you in a mental home, just like when I was arrested.
Yeah. If you had that to do over again, PK, you wouldn't have said shit to those people. You thought they could be reasoned with.
I'd love to see him again and give him a piece of my mind. Oh, fuck it. You can't win that.
Live and learn. That's all.
Yeah, Archimedes and I just read a comment. PK should replace Peter Hitchener for a week on the nightly news.
Oh, yeah.
I cannot. You don't know who Peter Hitchener is, Tim. He is a disgusting, vile. He's gay. That's his problem. He is a newsreader on Channel 9. Has been for so many years. On the day of the Burke Street shit, which happened supposedly between 1:30 and 2. Yeah. The news reading is at 6 o'clock, Tim. The news reading is at 6 o'clock. This guy was shown in when if you watch TV, oh, you know, breaking news. They showed this clown like 2:30, 3, whatever, sitting there without all his makeup on, you know, all, you know, work, look, he's distressed and he's coming there early and reporting this shit. How fucking obvious. 5 days later, he gets the Queen's Award for some fucking bullshit. Australia, because Australia Day was, 6 days later. He gets a Queen's Honour. This fucking disgusting, vile, I mean, you know, I'm not going to say anything against gay people, but that he's gay. He's a disgusting, vile piece of garbage, just like all the media people, and they should be pulled out of there and fucking hounded. I mean, there was a guy made a video of Daniel Andrews walking out and going into some press conference briefing, and he gave it to him. And this guy is a fuck. You've seen Daniel Andrews. He's fucking vile as he walked past. You could see he didn't say, you know, didn't. Of course, he didn't, you know, reply to this guy or none of his bodyguards whether he had any said anything. This guy gave it to him about selling Victoria to China, because if you don't know, he sold Victoria off to the Belt and Road deal with China, and that's been kept under quiet while this shit's going on. No one wants to know that, but he signed the deal a week ago. What perfect timing. And if people know that, you know, it used to be unlawful or whatever for a state premier to do that. It had to be a federal issue. Oh, but no, apparently our Prime Minister changed the laws for that, allowing our premier to do that, to go fucking visit China and make deals with China. You can guarantee those housing blocks they're going to pull down. They're all going to be taken over by Chinese interests, property developers from China. Guarantee.
Same thing over here. China owns half of this country. They own natural lands and everything. It has something to do with Nixon, going back to Nixon. But it's really one load of bullshit. It's the New World Order or whatever. The people at the top of the capstone, I like to put it this way, PK. There's a handful of people that just won't leave 7.5 billion people alone. And I think that says it in a nutshell, and that's the way it is.
I don't know if it's like that in America, but if I mention the Georgia Guidestones to anyone,
right?
Never heard of it. Never heard of it. But hang on. All right, you'll never hear that. It's never been shown on mainstream media. But fucking hell, do a bit of a search on YouTube and you'll find it everywhere. They're not hiding it from you. They want it to be out there. They want you to be told that we only need 600 million people at once on this planet. Why do not people see this? But if you tell them about Georgia Guidestones, oh, fuck, another conspiracy theory. Oh, no. You know, I won't look that one up. This guy's fucking stupid. What? He's telling me that 90% of the population have to go?
Right.
Who's this fucking idiot? No, well, Bill Gates is a good man. He's a philanthropist. They're just like George Soros. They're philanthropists. They give their time and money to save the world. They want us to be vaccinated so we can all go back to new normal.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But PK, as you also know, it's not just the Georgia Guidestones. There are documents that anyone could feast their eyes on. The Iron Mountain Report, the NASA report called Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. But it gets better than that. And I mentioned it before on your show. Anyone could go to the UN website and look up Agenda 2030 and feast your eyes on it, where they tell you, okay, that they want to take control. Read between the lines. They make it sound like it's a good thing. But you read between the lines, it says they're going to take control of transportation, communication, agriculture, put people in smart cities under their insane system of sustainable development. They take control of everything, and it's right there. Anyone could go to the website right now and see it. And here's another thing, PK. The UN has recently incorporated the name New World Order into their name. It's not hidden. There are no rabbit holes to be had anymore. Everything is right on the surface. Anyone can see it.
People don't want to read. They want to switch their TV on and listen to fucking Peter Hitchener say this, then show fucking bullshit, whatever that they want to show. That's all they want. That's all they need. They're not made to type in and research and Agenda 2030. It's too much for them to read.
Yeah.
They want to hear it from newsreaders and our politicians. But just on the UN, that's another thing, mate. People have got this in this head. The United Nations, which was formed after World War II, after the League of Nations, after World War I, that's what it was all about.
Right.
They all believe that the United Nations is this one fantastic organisation that is there to bring the world together. But little do they know, bring the world together is a new world order. But no, bring the world together because they think to themselves, oh, we've got a representative from each country. So they must be good. They must go in there and debate issues and all come out with good intentions. No, they're all fucking criminals. They're all corrupt. They're all working together to fuck you up to have this new world order. It's 100% exactly opposite to what people believe the United Nations is. It's one of the most corrupt organizations in history.
Where the USA, Great Britain, and Israel have the majority vote. So what the fuck good is it to have all these other nations involved in it?
I mean, you look at it. you had fucking Greta. No, did she actually go to? No, she didn't actually speak in front of the United Nations, did she?
I think she did.
Did she?
Yeah.
I mean, then every time you have these fucking clowns like Netanyahu and that come in, they give them. Oh, that's more the Senate I'm thinking of in Congress.
How many ovations?
Every time.
Yeah, the most in history.
Sorry?
He got the most standing ovations in the history of anyone going to speak in front of the Senate.
Yeah, I mean, fucking what's his standing ovations? You just let him talk and then clap him at the end. Fuck off. Fucking clapping away like fucking idiots. I mean, and people see, come on. And he's not the only clown that goes in there. There's the other one. But when you get someone like, I don't know who went in there. Was it Gaddafi? The Gaddafi went in there and, they started walking out.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking. Anyway, poor Gaddafi, God rest his soul, one of the greatest men, one of the greatest, or whatever, leaders of any country in the world. And what they did to him, just have a look what Hillary Clinton said about him. We came, we conquered, and whatever was it?
He swore, he died.
Yeah, wasn't that funny? Wasn't that funny?
And she's laughing hysterically over it.
Oh.
Meanwhile, Gaddafi, what was his crime? He tried to get water out to all of Africa, and he wasn't bleeding his citizens. He was given money to incentivize people to get married and have a family and all kinds of good things. So he had to go.
Petrol was 5 cents a litre, $10,000 if you passed your education. You got nearly a home if you got married. Best water system in the world, which has been destroyed.
Right.
It's fucking disgusting. Imagine if someone came in, whoever, the boys, the NATO, come in and knocked off, the so-called president. You think there'd be a stink about it? And the leader of whoever said, oh, we came and whatever it was, and conquered, and laughed about it.
Yeah.
You think there'd be a stink about it? But when they did it to Gaddafi, the world didn't fucking blink an eye because they thought this guy was evil.
Yeah.
It's so, and what really hurts me, over all these years, we're made to believe that the Western world, the Western governments are the good people. By fucking God, have we been lied to? 100% the opposite. I said we, I mean, fucking, we are part of the Western world, but we know who the evil are. We know who the evil are, and people got to wake up, for fuck's sake. And when we say the Western world, It's the whole fucking world. You have a look at this, what's going on now. Every country virtually is doing the same thing, same script, social distancing, this, mask this, lockdowns this. There's not one fucking person that's getting up and saying it's bullshit. Are you telling me that everyone's agreeing with this shit? Where's the positivity in some of the talks? Oh, yeah, we'll get through this, blah, blah, blah. Trump says a few bullshit things just to make people believe this fucking bullshit that is on our side. But it's all about doom and gloom and fear. Come on. Come on, someone out there. Oh, sorry, the Bhutani, whatever guy said it's bullshit. He died 2 days ago from a heart attack, didn't he? The only COVID victim in the whole country. I mean, how stiff can you be? Oh, fucking what? Anyway, how come no politicians and sports people are getting fucking COVID anymore? None of the footballers here in Australia are testing positive, even though they're all mingling together and playing and getting tested every second day. It's because they just put the numbers out there to suit themselves, We can go on and on, Tim, but, we said 3-4 weeks ago what's going to happen next week. It's going to be just as laughable, even more. Who knows? And like I said, September, by fucking God. September, they won't be celebrating the anniversary of 9/11. It'll be something even worse.
Oh, shit. Maybe Hillary Clinton could pass out at a public ceremony again. But as you know, PK, only sellout celebrities, politicians, and sports heroes get the fake bug, but they don't die from it. I just want, if we're talking about celebrity, I want to touch on Tom Hanks.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Go on.
You want to say something about him?
No. Someone showed me a video being interviewed at home by some fucking slag. Yeah. They were laughing and joking. I couldn't bear watching it. I was going to make a video on it, but I couldn't bear watching that slime. All of a sudden we're hearing him talk, but when he was supposedly in Australia, we never saw one word or clip from him being, in isolation, whatever. But yet, I've been dying to make this video, but some clown that was on the Diamond Princess, Abel someone, I don't know if you know this, some American guy, who was in isolation, quarantine with his wife in Japan. He, for 2 hours a day, was making live shows to his followers on YouTube. We're talking about Abel, A-B-E-L, some guy.
Is that the guy who fly around on luxury jets?
I'm not sure. But he and his wife are sitting there together. They're supposed to be quarantined, but it's okay to be next to your wife, even though, surely you'd be in separate rooms, but just how it happens in Tokyo or wherever. He's got this beautiful room to rest for 2 weeks and make these bullshit videos. He can do that, but where's fucking Tom Hanks doing that? Oh, no, we got to go via his son with the Illuminati fucking pyramid of the all-seeing eye tattooed on his fucking chest, telling him Dad's going. Oh, Dad's going fine. Yeah. Let's listen to fucking Dad for a change. We never saw him once because he wasn't fucking in Australia.
Yeah.
But go on, you tell the story about him now.
But in all fairness to Tom Hanks, he did show us a photograph on Twitter at that time of his Corona typewriter, Corona. And he said he travels everywhere with it. He loves his Corona typewriter. Now, recently, in the last few days, Tom Hanks is saying that shaming anybody who doesn't wear a mask. He's saying if you don't wear a mask, you're irresponsible. He's literally bullying people and telling them they're a piece of shit if they don't wear the fucking mask. And meanwhile, what he did a couple of months ago was so obviously a psychological operation where he shows you the Corona typewriter and says it's his favorite typewriter. He can't travel anywhere without it. Revelation of the method, also called extension of the hierarchy. They have to tell the people that they are lying. And in their bizarre mystery religion or whatever it is they follow from on high, they believe that exempts them, it indemnifies them from divine retribution because they told the dumb people in some way that they're lying. So if they don't get it, people get what they deserve because they were told.
That's why in all these articles, Mail Online, it's always you'll see underlying health conditions. They put it out there. They died from underlying health conditions. and it's always alleged. Alleged this, alleged that, alleged this. We're not saying you that this happened 100%. It was alleged. The alleged shooter, the alleged assassin, the alleged terrorist, the alleged, because that is the cop out, like you said. What's that? Revelation of the method.
Revelation of the method, yeah.
Go back to your typewriter story. It gets better. There was a young kid here, or supposedly in Australia, a 9-year-old or something,
right,
that he met, don't know how and when, but he met Tom Hanks before he went back home. He sent him a typewriter. Guess what the kid's name was? Corona.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, and you should have seen the interview with the kid and his father. The kid felt that uncomfortable. He said, what the fuck I want this typewriter for? I mean, what am I going to do with a typewriter? I'm going to put in and type away some bullshit, you know? I can do it on the computer 100 times quicker and print it off. But yeah, Corona fucking typewriter, and what's the name? Madonna as well with the Corona Elite.
Yeah. And nobody uses a typewriter anymore, PK, like you said. And PK, you also showed us an example of revelation of the method in one of your videos. I just lost my train of thought. It was one. Oh yeah, in one of your videos where it showed the World Health Organization guy saying that it could be characterized as a pandemic.
Well, that's the actual day. Ted Ross, the criminal from Ethiopia or Ecuador.
Okay.
Ethiopia. Yeah, ex-Bill Gates employee. He didn't declare it a pandemic.
Yeah.
He said it has the characteristics of a pandemic. So that is like exactly the way of getting out of it when they sent him to the war crimes, whatever. But soon as he said that, the whole world's media like fire. Who declares pandemic? Who declares pandemic? Declares pandemic. No, they never declared a pandemic. It's characterized. And this is March 11th.
Right.
There wasn't a single fucking death in America, virtually, or Australia. It was just China and maybe this Italy shit started and Iran. But they they characterized as a pandemic before anyone died. And bang, that's when the whole world, the saturation started. You know, it's fucking unbelievable. Anyway, we've got to believe it.
But
I don't know. Sorry.
It's a matter of semantics. That's why they say cases, not casket, cases. It's all semantics. It's all sanitized euphemism language. Cases are not deaths. Deaths are deaths. So cases don't kill anybody. Death kills people.
Tim, in 50 years' time, do you think history is going to tell us how many cases were, whether it's coronavirus or cancer, whatever? You think they're going to tell us cases? No. It's going to tell us, like you said, caskets, deaths. That's the number we want to fucking look at. I couldn't give a stuff about your cases. I think I've said that 1,000 times in the last few months. I couldn't give a stuff about your cases, Dan Andrews. Stick them up your fucking ass.
Yeah.
I couldn't care how many people test positive.
Yeah.
I want to know how many people are dying from COVID-19, not with COVID-19. And as we mentioned before, a 90-year-old dies last night. Oh, fuck off.
Yeah, there's whole life ahead of them. What a
3.7 million kids die under 5 throughout the world every year, and not one single one's from this fucking bullshit virus. You got to give it to COVID-19. The good thing about it, it's leaving 90% of the population alone. It only goes after anyone 80 plus. So, you know,
we're part of the lucky many.
We're going to be thankful. We're going to be thankful. It's a very caring virus. Yeah. So we've got to be thankful for that.
PK, I wanted to touch on one more thing. You mentioned that the 1918 epidemic, and they use history. They say, oh yeah, you know, it happened before and it's happening now, right? And I think the thing wound up around 1820 or whatever. But they said that
1920. Don't go backwards.
But okay, 1920. Yeah, you're right. But they said that there was a slogan that came off of that. They said that more soldiers died from the vaccine than got shot in the war. Then they go home and they spread the disease that they got from the vaccine, and they issued the vaccine to the general public. Those are the people that got sick and died. And history is repeating itself, because anyone who goes to get this vaccine, God only knows what's going to happen. I hear all kinds of stories about what in that vaccine, and I don't know which ones to believe. But here's what I do believe. It's no damn good for you. You don't need it. Who the fuck needs a vaccine for something that kills less than 1% of the population? And Trump still has support from his his followers, where he said, I'm going to have the army go out there and make sure to make the vaccine available. He didn't say anything about it being forced, but why the fuck would you need the army to distribute the vaccine? Haven't they ever heard of Federal Express or Big Brown UPS? Don't they deliver things? Why do you need an army to deliver a vaccine? And again, for something that's not killing anybody.
The testing here in Melbourne over the last few weeks, they're getting unemployed people who go to these job networks, wherever, looking for work, and they've been given the program. They've been the government's given the obviously all these jobs to go out in the streets, knock on doors. They're fucking dum-dums. They wouldn't know shit about anything, and they're telling you to get tested. Get fucked. Unless you're like I said, in a hospital under strict bloody conditions where it's all hygienic with medical experts. I'm not getting some fucking unemployed bozo who's just been given a part-time job to go around and test people, knocking on my door. Fuck off. If they do knock on my door, that's the first thing they're going to ask me. Who are you? Where are you from? What's your qualifications? Oh, I've been unemployed for 6 years. This is my first job. Oh, really? How about you fuck off? You know?
They'll probably give them like a 3-hour orientation and said, this is how you come to the person's door. This is how you ask questions. Then stick this swab up their nose. And Peekay, that's another thing. Why does a swab have to go so far up your nose that it also touches your brain? But aren't water droplets from saliva supposed to have this shit in it?
Yeah, it's just inside your nose you can get it. You don't have to go all the way up.
Right.
But because they were using it as an excuse, or people were saying, oh, we're not getting my children tested because it's so terrible having this thing up your nose. All of a sudden, Dictator Dan comes out, oh, guess what? We've just got this new test. It's a saliva test. You can put it in your mouth now. So that'll solve the problem, everyone. So go get tested. Get all your children tested. How good is that? We just got it yesterday. Fucking fantastic. Get fucked. How about you cured cancer for the last 100 fucking years? You don't want to do that, do you? No, don't worry about cancer. Oh, fucking don't give a fuck about them people. You know, idiot comes out. I haven't seen the video last night. A press conference when a 90-year-old dies, one of 400 people that died in Australia that day, but he has to make a press conference from a 90-year-old who supposedly dies from COVID-19 because the whole world.
Yeah.
You know what? So what you're saying here, it's more terrible to die from COVID-19 than to die from a car accident or a heart attack or a cancer. Oh, don't worry about them people. Fuck them. They don't matter. You know. But this COVID-19 guy, oh, fuck it. We've got to tell the world about him. You know. And we've got a name for this guy. That's the 13th name out of 107 people. What about the other, what's that, 87, 94 people? What about the other 94 people that you don't name? Because you'd be busted because of, like that 30-year-old in Queensland 5 weeks ago. They claimed he was a victim. And another press conference. What's her name? The Premier, Panel Chuck or whatever her fucking name is. Disgusting bile. You know, the one that faked the jab. the videos that I made and got removed.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, they had to remove them videos. But she comes out making this speech about a 30-year-old. Oh, it's a youngster, a 30-year-old. Wow, you know, anyone can catch it. But they got busted. I don't know what it was, but they kept it quiet. Whether the family said, "You're fucking kidding." This guy was in a bed for 7 months, and he died in his own bed because he was fucking dying for 7 months. Don't use this COVID shit. Oh, we'll slowly just, you know, get this out of the news, and we'll drop the Hopkins number from 103 back to 102. Took him 3 days to do that. But guess what? They come in and said, oh, the testing was contaminated. What a lot of fucking bullshit. That was their reasoning that they fucked up here. The testing was contaminated. No testing was contaminated. There's no fucking testing. You're telling me that here in Victoria, 35,000 people got tested, and then next day you got the test results? Fucking hell, these pathologists must be fucking working not only 24 hours straight, they must be, I don't know, where they getting the people that do all this testing? When their daily lives, they're fucking flat out doing the normal blood tests or what have you from normal people that have got problems. But all of a sudden, 35,000 COVID tests, and they're getting results within a day? Fuck off, and people can't see this shit. Oh, but he's saying, oh, we're sending these tests, the ones, I think there's only 20,000 he says we can do. We're sending these other ones to interstate via, you know, the military, sending them in the state to get tested. Thank you, premiers from in the state, for helping us out here in Victoria to help with this testing. It's a fucking joke. And, of course, there's this bullshit that the premiers, you know, in the other states are all condemning Victorians, how bad that we've relaxed. Even though we had the tightest restrictions, we've relaxed. Oh, how terrible we are, relaxed by fucking us. Have done nothing different to any other Australian in any other city or state, but the guinea pig state, we've got to use Victorian and its gullible fucking people. Anyway, Tim, we've gone over 2 hours.
Let me just say, add another thing on that, PK. I know we've gone on long, and but like King Cummo, the nipple ring leader, governor of New York, says, you people have got to do what we tell you. If we see you not social distancing, not wearing a mask, then we're bringing back the restrictions, okay? Like he's telling you, better be good. You better be good. Otherwise, we're going to come down hard on you. Now, and then my favorite thing is, too, PK, all of a sudden, okay, they let people go to the beach. They let people go to a barber shop. They let people do this, that, or the other, right? The very next day, the media pounces on them and says, oh, the cases have skyrocketed because these people are so irresponsible. We need to go on lockdown. You've been very naughty children, so go back. We're going to keep you in your room. And that's the way it goes.
That's right. I mean, if a mask works, why do you need social distancing? If social distancing works, why do you need a mask? Yeah. If they both work, why do we need this fucking lockdown shit? I mean, come on. Even the label on the box, on the mask box, it says, this is fucking useless as far as stopping any disease. It says it on the fucking box. That doesn't matter. We know it's like 10-1, the poor in the mask, 10-1, you know, if this virus was real, you know, which it doesn't, 10-1. It's not going to stop any fucking bullshit. And I don't know if I mentioned this, what I really want to do next time I go out and all these morons are wearing masks, I'm going to go past each one. Oh, geez, thank you. Thank you. You're so kind to wear that mask to stop spreading your virus to me. I appreciate it very much. Thank you very much. Next one, I'll say the same thing. Thank you for wearing that mask to stop spreading. I'm so grateful for that. Oh, thank you. You're so kind. I'd buy you a beer, but I'm sorry, the fucking pubs are closed. Keep wearing your mask. I'll be safe. But keep wearing your mask, because that way I know I will be free from this virus. You fucking mental fucking human fucking idiots.
You saved my life. and you're breathing in your own carbon dioxide and causing pleurisy and oxygen levels to go down inside of you. You're done good.
Yeah, you just brought that up. A few days ago, I made a video about masks. Over a week ago, I uploaded, I mirrored a few of these mask people. You know, they put the reading under the mask and beep, 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 beep. You see those ones, you know?
Yeah. The oxygen
went down from 21 down to 17.5 within seconds, and 19.5. Right. But, you know, I think at least 2, maybe 3. Well, when I did this video about the mask, I think it was something about it. They're talking about making it mandatory. On the same fucking day, I had a video removed by YouTube, one of these mask-wearing videos. You're not going to fucking believe it. How does that violate fucking YouTube terms and conditions, showing someone with a reader clearly saying, you know, it's doing you no good. You know, the oxygen levels are way below what they should be. How is that violating terms and conditions on YouTube? Tell me.
Yeah, because science, real science that's provable and unassailable is not welcome on YouTube. It violates their community standards, which is no community at all. It's a fucking tyranny. That's all.
I mean, one thing I've got to admit, I've only had like 2 videos removed in a week, whereas, you know, previously it was like 10 a day I had sometimes. But I don't know how I'm getting around it. Maybe because I'm using BS-19 and not COVID-19, or...
Oh, you just did
it. But this one was titled Corona. I put A-R-G-H,
yeah.
But they still caught me on that. So I don't know if it's in the title. Like I said, it wasn't even me talking. But there was another one they deleted where I was talking about something, which was, I can't remember. Just talking, reading an article, and they removed that. I mean, there's fucking nothing there. I mean, terms and conditions. I mean, if you don't agree with the WHO, I don't know if you remember the good group from England, the WHO.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
the greatest drummer of all time, Keith Moon.
Keith Moon,
yeah. One of my favorite songs, "Substitute." Me for him, "Substitute."
Oh, yeah, I like that song. Yeah.
You know, it pains me when I say "who," because that sort of, you know, mixes up with the great group. Yeah. But you know, those disgusting. You know, that not only Ted Ross, but you got that fucking, what is he, Irish or whatever? That creepy looking fuck that sometimes talks. You've seen him, the Irish guy, fat head. I don't know what his name is, but
he's in the band.
Sorry,
he's in the who?
No, the World Health Organization.
Oh, yeah. I can't keep up with all these stupid...
Yeah, you got Ted Ross, the big guy, and then you got this fucking Irish guy who said a few things. I think he's famous for saying, what would he say? Something about, can't remember, social distancing or I don't know. But the thing is, they all said at the start, you don't need to wear masks. No masks, fucking no, don't need to wear masks. That was during the peak.
Right.
But now that we're coming out of this peak, we really haven't got this second wave bullshit. Fuck Victoria. Fuck Leicester and Texas, whatever. But all of a sudden, when we've come out of it, we've flattened the curve, we're going to wear a mask all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
The idea of the mask, Ted, obviously, the more people you see wearing a mask when you go out, oh, shit, this is real. Oh, more masks. This is getting real. I'm going to wear a mask myself. I haven't really thought about that, but there's more people wearing them. Now, all it is doing is showing who the fucking dum-dums are. Like I said, the ones suffering from humanist mentalists. And I don't know if you remember, I did a little, you know, when I go to the supermarket, I talk to people and talk about it when I come back. I bumped into a guy. I don't normally talk to people with masks. I think this is about the only one I have spoken to. Was a youngish guy in the aisle, and I stopped and said, "Why are you wearing this mask?" "Oh, because everyone else in my suburb's wearing it." I said, "Fucking hell, mate. If everyone else got told to jump off a cliff, would you jump off the cliff?" Oh, okay. I better take it off. He didn't take it off in front of me, but he said, "I'll take it off when I get to my car." So honestly, that's the mentality. It's herd mentality, as you know. Yeah. It's like when we have, like, a classic example was the Nice truck attack, where all the footage mainstream was people running through the streets. Have a look at all these people running away from this truck, where the truck's fucking nowhere to be seen and it hasn't done anything. All it is, you take 2 or 3 clowns to start running and screaming, and everyone else will start running and screaming.
Yeah.
And they showed another example out of the airport in Belgium. They showed someone with a cell phone conveniently outside, all people running out of the, what do you want to call it, the airport.
Same.
Running away from this fucking bomb. It's because people did it, everyone else follows. It's fucking unbelievable. Anyway, we've had a good say here, Tim. Like we said at the start, there's been fuck all going on since we last spoke a month ago. And I was a bit bored. I just thought I'd say hello and talk about whatever. I better check out on Trump wearing a black mask. That's fucking shattered me. My friend, who honestly, he lives and breathes Q, whatever you want to call it. He thinks Donald Trump is the greatest. He's actually put a whack of money on him, and he's blown out like you cannot believe. Mr. Creepy Joe is that far favourite. It's beyond belief. But he keeps saying to me, "Oh, how could anyone have a Creepy Joe as president?" I says, I know that, but that's not your thinking, mate. You're going to think opposite. You're going to think the opposite to fucking normality, because they're going to put Biden in, not because he's Creepy Joe, but because they want him in there. That's part of the script. It's been scripted years ago, probably even before fucking Obama was put in, even before George Bush was put in. Trump was around in those days, mixing with these people. You got to understand that. No. I'm still, certain that Trump's the man. He's going to be the next president, whatever. And all these people are going to be arrested and fuck. And this guy's supposedly smart. I don't want to knock him. He's a friend of mine. You just pinch yourself and you wonder.
But Trump with the black mask, that's the cherry on top. He said all these great things, but his actions are the opposite of what he says. And just like everybody else, his position on things are flexible from day to day, to say the least.
That's what initially whenever he made his press conferences, he had all the idiots behind him.
Right.
Fauci and all these clowns. None of them were wearing masks. They were all side by side, no social distancing. But, in the last month or so, Fauci's wearing a mask and these other clowns are wearing a mask. So that's the same thing. People are seeing that. Oh, fuck. They're wearing a mask now. It must be getting worse. This second wave's going to be deadly. It's going to be worse than the first wave. Let's quickly get a mask. Mummy, quick, get me a mask. I've got to wear a mask now. Because there's that guy behind fucking Mr. Trump wearing a mask. Oh, Donald Trump's wearing a mask. Fucking get me a dozen masks just in case I lose one.
Because the more the bullshit story falls apart, the more the masks, the more the lockdown, the more the everything, until phase 2 officially starts in September, October, November, I guess.
Who knows, Tim? Maybe this could come out of this, that all the morons will be eliminated and it will be left with just the smart people. But I don't know. Maybe it's got the opposite. If we don't take the vaccine, we're the ones that are going to drop dead. We're going to put a real pandemic out there. Who knows? Who knows what the script is? Unless you're in the clique, unless you're in there. Any way you can get in there? Can you know someone that's in the clique, Tim, that you can sort of?
All I know, PK, is I don't think they can't put something out there that they can't control. All right, so they can't put a bug out there that could potentially kill them too.
That's
the
right.
only way to get a real authentic disease is to do what they did back in 2018, 2019, 2020. Is to give the vaccine, and the people who get the vaccine are the ones that fucking die. That's all.
1918, 1990. 100 years ago. And just on that, I meant to say, apparently at that time there was some new telecommunication thing that brought, nothing like today with 5G, but there was some big change in telecommunication. that fucked everyone's lives up. I don't know that some people are saying that. Who knows?
Yeah, people are saying that, PK, but here's the thing. All right, so they had the advent of radio, which was short for radiation, okay?
Yeah.
But if people were going to die from that, they would have kept dying. It's just regular terrestrial radio. 5G, on the other hand, is a totally different animal from what I understand. Who's more healthy than a fireman, right? They put a tower near the fire station, and the firemen start getting sick. They put a 5G tower near a school, and the children start dying of cancer. So 5G is a different animal. It's not radio. The people who push the radio narrative don't mention about the vaccinations and how that really is what killed the people. So I think maybe there's a little bit of controlled opposition if you're not also mentioning the vaccines back in 1920.
Yeah. Did 50 million people really die? Who knows? The numbers. Are there really 7.5 billion people on this planet? Who knows?
Yeah.
You just got to think the opposite virtually just about everything that we're told. But anyway, Tim, better go. Thanks, everyone. I haven't had a chance to say thank you to all the good people there. Northern Truth Seeker, Nimnet, thanks for coming on. Smile Morphiny, all good people.
Ed Pyman.
He's gone, but thanks, Adrian. Adrian Chetwin. Steve Keys, good to see you. Jan Yu, all you good people. Thanks for coming on. I know this is a different time. Most people in Britain and Europe could come on. I'm going to probably do the same thing with my weekly patron show because it's only the Brits that could come on because it's pretty early in the morning for the Yanks. I might have to change that date, but people have to ask if they want to come on. You Americans out there, and just want to finish. People, I get so many comments saying, "When are you going on BitChute, 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 BitChute?" I don't want to go on BitChute. I've said it. It's in my main description. Every video I put out, all my videos are on archive.org, and the channel is Peekay Truth. It's not hard to find. None of my videos are being deleted there. They go on. There's not a problem with them. It's no different to BitChute. And when I say all, a lot of my stuff from going back 3 months, I just cannot have time to put my older stuff on. I will when I get a chance. Maybe if I'm in prison for a year, I'll get a chance to do that. But if you missed my stuff over the last 3 months of my other channels are deleted, go to archive.org, Peekay Truth. And whilst you're in there, there's a 12-hour video about this bullshit that happened in New Zealand. I mean, people have to see that. They have to see that. I spent 2 months doing that. And as well, there's my Boston videos. But just do a search for Boston Trilogy. It's actually not on my channel. Someone else has put it out because I have to re-edit it. But if you haven't seen my Boston stuff, just do a type for Trouser Bomb, Boston, whatever, something like that, Firecracker. You'll see my trilogy.
The Brown Cow.
I wonder how the darling's going, how she's going.
The Trouser Bomb.
Yeah, and Arredondo, they're probably having their weekly get-togethers, all those fucking idiots.
PK, who do we hate out of most of all? The fucking Broussards, would you say?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. The Broussards, bastards, whatever you want to call them. They were my most censored videos. I couldn't put up a video with them without it being removed. 100% they were the biggest fucking pieces of garbage in that event. The mother, father, and fucking Christina, yeah, running down the street, mother wobbling down the street, and their fucking next scene with moon boots laying back in their lounge chairs at home, and Christina fucking coming out of a wheelchair, fucking, it's staggering. But the best one was that the 21-year-old son was not a pedophile, a sexual deviant, and he was charged for molesting children, and that's why he wasn't part of the show. But the only time you saw him was in a photo pushing the old man in a wheelchair. He a few times. But the media never covered that. The media never covered that the 21-year-old son was a a sexual deviant. But as soon as I put a video out there, bang, gone.
Old man Prasad just couldn't let go of that water bottle, PK.
The water bottle. But it's maybe because the guy who took his shirt off with all the zits on his back, he put that many tourniquets on Mr. Prasad's leg that it just lost sense of whatever. But he didn't lose sense of grip. A bit like our 75-year-old in Buffalo, who couldn't let go of a cell phone and a helmet, even though his head bounced off and blew his brains apart. But he couldn't let go of that. So it's amazing what your body can do, even though you're virtually, you're fucked. But anyway, it's amazing. But I'm not going to call these people as crisis actors. How dare you?
But PK, also, there's a famous comedian in America named Jim Brewer, and he made fun of that fucking the Boston Hoaxathon. Look up Jim Brewer and Boston Marathon, and you'll probably catch it, or I'll send it to you. It was pretty good.
Wow, all right. Anyway, I'm going to go because I'm dying to see Donald Trump wearing a mask.
Oh yeah, yeah. Cherry on top. He's showing his allegiance to the beast system, as he has been doing all along, anyway.
Wow, I'm going to send a photo of that straight away to my friend and see what his response is. Anyway, all right, everyone. Thanks for coming on, whether it's early morning here in Australia or late afternoon in America where it's nice and hot.
Yeah.
But you can't go to the beaches, sorry. Or can you go to the beach?
We can go to the beach, yeah.
Wow, fuck, that's good.
Yeah.
But you got to be careful. The sharks can spread the virus too, apparently.
They got those bullshit signs, though, showing you how far you need to stay apart from each other. But a lot less people wearing masks, though, which is a good thing.
Even in the water, you got to stay apart in the water.
Yeah. You just made me think of this, PK. There's a special mask you could wear in the water because a fake bug could swim also.
I'm shocked that they haven't got poles with signs in the water everywhere 6 feet apart. Don't dare swim past someone 6 feet away from you. I mean, honestly, the people deserve this. The people deserve this. I shouldn't say that. Yeah.
But if King Cummo, PK, like I said earlier, if King Cummo, the nipple ring leader of the dumb people, spots people getting too close to each other, then he's going to shut it down. He's going to punish everybody for their disobedience. For their non-compliance is the word they like to use. They want you to be compliant.
Well, like I said at the start, the virus is real. The HM virus, humanist, mentalist, it's real, and you got to beware, people. If you go out, beware of people spreading humanist, mentalists, because it is a deadly fucking disease, and you'd hate to live the rest of your life with it. I mean, I could put up with a fever or a cough or a sniffle, but humanist, mentalist, that's diabolical. It's just no coming back from it. Once you get it, it's it. You're gone. That's it. It's the end. You're fucked. All right. On that note,
be afraid. Be very afraid. And much love to all you guys in the chat. I appreciate your kind tidings to me and PK.
Yep. I second that as well.
Yes. All
good people. Yep. Make sure you keep your distance. Make sure your mask fits well. Make sure you don't just buy one, get a dozen or two, because this could be going forever and ever.
Sure.
Anyway, and try when you go to a restaurant or a bar, keep wearing your mask. Somehow try to eat your food with the mask on. I know it's going to be hard, but it's something that apparently there's going to be education on that. Education courses on how to eat and drink with a mask on, because you just cannot take the mask off. I'm sorry. It's the new normal, and that's the way it's going to be. I'm sorry. I didn't want to give you this bad news. I had to end the show with this bad news, but that's the way life is now. It's the new mask normal. Anyway, get used to it. On that note, thanks, everyone. Thanks, Tim. We'll see you again unless something profoundly hysterical happens in the next week or so to talk about. We'll see you whenever. All right, mate. Take care. Good man. I'll talk to you soon. Bye, everyone. Have a nice day.
Been a pleasure, PK.